Hello everyone, welcome to Tarot by Pabby and welcome to this singles love reading for you today. I'm so happy you're watching this today and you're visiting my channel. Give me a quick subscribe if you like what you see, I'd be very grateful for that. Today I've got 3 piles and I've decided to pull out my crystal animals for you to choose today. So we've got pile 1, which is the Smokey Quartz owl. We've got pile 2, which is the flower agate turtle, and pile 3, which is the Jade elephant. As I always say, close your eyes, take a deep breath, and then open your eyes, and which pile you're immediately drawn to is usually the pile for you. Then again, you might have a particular draw to either the crystal type or also the animal, so feel free to pick your singles love reading pile that way. Once you've chosen your pile, check out the timestamps below and I will see you there. Hello pile 1, thank you so much for watching this reading today. You chose the Smokey Quartz owl and I really love this owl, it's so cute and really, really intricately carved. I'm not sure if you can see that on the camera. As usual, I always work with the Seers tarot deck for my love readings, and I'm specifically looking for a love reading for singletons. So if you're single, hopefully I'll be able to get some messages for you about your love life. So I'm going to pull some tarot cards for you now. Okay, look at all those court cards. Okay, so you have the Knight of Pentacles in reverse, you have the King of Cups, you have the Knight of Cups, you have Justice, and you have the Knight of Wands. Wow. You only have court cards and major arcana, which tells me that I wonder if you've actually got quite a lot of choice of people. I think, so this Knight of Pentacles in reverse I'll start with. So this Knight of Pentacles is usually sort of bringing you news or newness in the kind of material world. And I wonder if you're feeling a little bit disconnected from your material world right now. So maybe you're a little bit stressed about your career. Maybe you're sort of needing a little bit of a boost of motivation and it's not coming, and that could kind of be distracting you. But the King of Cups is here to tell you that actually this is an important rite of passage. So in some readings, the kings and the knights and the court cards can be people, but I don't think they are. I think they're sort of sides to your single self. So I kind of see you kind of like to see yourself as like a strong emotional character who could be someone's knight in shining armor, but you're also sort of fun as well. But you feel like there's a bit of weakness when it comes to your career and your financial situation, and I think you're being quite hard on yourself about your lack of, I don't know, I feel like it's like shiny, sparkly job. Like you are being quite mean to yourself about not having a job that will help draw someone into you. I just feel like you kind of wish you were like a lawyer or a doctor or something impressive, and you feel like that's a slight weakness in your character and your ability to draw someone in. And then you've got Justice in reverse between the Knight of Cups, who's like the knight in shining armor. So I think you see yourself as this sort of, or you want to be at least, this real like knight in shining armor, but also this sort of fun and fiery, passionate sexual knight, and you've got Justice reversed. So I wonder if you're a little bit torn between these two characters. You're trying to be too much for everyone. I feel like you're sort of changing your face for each new person that you meet. I wonder if you're actually a little bit disconnected with who you truly are. There's just so much court cards, there's so much, the energy is just so different here that I think that what Justice in reverse is trying to tell you is that sort of you're not letting fate and karma work in your favor. So Justice in the upright position is sometimes about like legal activities. I did just say lawyer, but it's also about sort of fairness and karma coming back to bite you. And I feel like you're fixated on who you want to be and who you're trying to be as a single person. I think you're lost in a way, trying to be too many things for too many people. And that Justice card in reverse is saying that you're really not letting karma come in, you're not letting fate you're blocking fate and you're blocking karma because you're trying to kind of manipulate the situation. I think you're obviously very not unhappy being single. You might be doing quite a lot of online dating, but there's just a lot going on, and there's just a sort of sense of a slight tinge of desperation, but nothing too drastic. But there is this sort of feeling of you're putting on a different face. So with some people you're the king, some people you're the knight, some people Knight of Cups, and some people you're the Knight of Wands. And particularly the last two, so the Knight of Cups and the Knight of Wands, they're quite different characters. So the Knight of Cups is like romantic, and then the Knight of Wands is very, very passionate and sensual and sexual. So I wonder if you're a little bit torn between romance and long-term relationships and more short-term casual sexual relationships. And I think you can have both, but that for some reason you're just blocking it. And the Justice in reverse is telling you need to kind of let fate take its course. And maybe you've mistreated some people. I get the feeling you might have, if you've ghosted anyone in the past or not treated everybody well, particularly when you're in the Knight of Wands zone. I wonder if you're a bit worried about getting karma for that, which is why you're blocking it potentially. But this Knight of Pentacles, you feel like you can embody everything but him. There is something about a lack in your career, and you're not feeling like you can be the Knight of Pentacles as well. But I think you need to just have a bit of a reset and kind of let the universe take you, if that makes sense. Let fate and karma take you and help you meet who you're supposed to meet, because it's actually a much easier journey than what you're doing at the moment. This is quite a tiring thing that you're doing with everyone. Like, I can't imagine how exhausting it is to like act and have different versions of yourself, like with romantic relationships, because the key to romantic relationships is being yourself, right? Like you need to be yourself and present all of you to everyone, so you can filter out the people who are right for you. Because if you're putting on all these masks, especially early in a relationship, then when things get serious, like you're going to have to at some point show them the real you. You can't keep this up, and that's really stressful. And then to be rejected further down the line, or even reject someone further down the line, is just more pain. So I think this is telling you that you have to pick who you want to be, or pick who you truly are. And I think who you truly are is this King of Cups character, this sort of emotionally enlightened. You kind of know what you're doing. So the Knights are a bit more of an immature energy, whereas the King of Cups is really mature. He knows how to handle his emotions. As you can see, he's like partially in the water, so he partially deals with his emotions, but he's also partially out of the water. And the sea is calm. Like emotionally, he's very centered, and I think you are too. And I think you know what you're doing with these different faces, and it's probably some sort of protection. Like maybe you've been hurt in the past. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull some clarifiers on this and just see what else they've got to say about your single life. Okay, you've got the King of Swords come out. So you've got another king. Now he is a real sort of nomad character, and you've got an owl, by the way. If I don't know if you can see that there's an owl on the King of Swords, and this is the group you picked. So definitely owls are messengers, but he is a kind of wise old owl, but he's also a bit of a nomad. There's a couple of things in here. I'm not sure if you've seen my animal spirit guide reading, which I think was last week's. I can't remember if it could have been the week before. But in my animal spirit guide reading, the raven and the crow came out, but also the starfish. So this is both of these kings are related to that. So I think there's messages in that for you. But yes, the King of Swords is kind of, he does what he wants on his own steam. He's really intellectual. Sort of, as you can see, he's a bit of a traveller. He's the air element, which is quite fast and speedy, but he's the kind of he's the slowest of them all, if you like. And what this is telling me is that you're actually quite balanced. You have Cups, Wands, Pentacles, Swords in your character and in your single life, and this is all you, really. But you also have the Magician upside down. So the Magician is the most magical card. He is about the law of attraction, and kind of what I was saying about karma and justice. The Magician is blocked. So I think I'm spot on with saying that you are the King of Cups, but you're not letting that kind of balanced emotional side of you out. I think because you have been hurt in the past and you're just feeling sort of slightly a sort of scarcity. So you're not letting the true you out, which is the King of Cups, which is blocking the law of attraction and blocking the universe to intervene and give you your soulmate or just the positive love in your life that you need. And you've got the Four of Pentacles as well under the Knight of Cups, and the Four of Pentacles is a scarcity card. So it's not that you're not dating anyone. It's not that you don't have options. You just don't quite want to put yourself out there. So normally it's in the kind of financial situation. So I wonder if you're a bit like, you don't want to be the knight in shining armor. You don't want to be the romantic knight because you don't want to spend the money on people. Or maybe you feel a bit burnt because you spent a lot of money on dating and nothing's come of it. But there's also a scarcity in so much of like, you're quite comfortable where you are being all these different people. You're quite comfortable deep down being single. I think you're quite comfortable being single, whether or not you want to admit that. It's safe, and there's this sense of not wanting to share, to give that side of you out, that more romantic side. So you're definitely being driven by the Knight of Wands and passion and sexuality, I think, a bit more. But you also have the Emperor. So you've got, this is a lot of masculine energy. And so the Emperor is like the ultimate entrepreneur. He reminds me of kind of a combination of all the kings. Like he's the star sign Aries. He Justice is Libra as well, by the way, if you're interested in the star signs. So if you've got Libra, probably a Libra with Aries placements or the reverse, this could be a really positive sign from the universe. But the Emperor is a really sorted, strategic, entrepreneurial spirit, and in a love reading I feel like this is your potential if you stop blocking karma. So you see it's below Justice in reverse. If you let yourself embody the King of Cups, you're going to open up, you're going to reverse the Magician and Justice, so you're going to get karma as well as the law of attraction, and you're going to attract people, and you're going to embody this kind of really awesomely grounded, fun, fierce Emperor character. I do think there's a connection with the Emperor here and your job. So I think maybe part of your fears is about this reverse Knight of Pentacles. I think there's something about you're not that happy in your job as well that's kind of might be distracting you or not letting you open up or might making you feel a bit insecure. And what this is saying is once you embody the King of Cups and focus on what you do have, focus on your positive traits. And this is a very masculine energy. So maybe it's embracing your masculine and your feminine sides and trying to get these into balance. Trying to get both your masculine and your feminine into balance, I think, is really important. So there's a kind of almost a rejection of deep feelings here. There's a lot of kind of masculine energy. And I think you need to sort of explore feeling your emotions and talking about them a little bit more. Maybe you're being scarce with your romantic side and your emotional side, and you really need to open up. This is the advice you're getting. And then you've got the Seven of Cups in reverse on the Knight of Wands. So I think that you either have a lot of choice of sexual partners or like casual dating partners, or you have none. And I think it's the latter. I think you're worried about choosing one person. You're worried about how is it possible to have one person for the rest of our lives? There's this question coming up. And this is why you've got so many different characters here. You've got so many different types of people here that you're just not sure what you want. You're not sure whether you can settle down. And I'm here to say that you don't need to yet. But what you're doing at the moment is you're flitting from these different people, these different energies. And you, particularly if you're interested in men or attracted to more masculine energies, you're flitting from all these different types of people, and you just have you have a lot of choice, but you don't know what you want. Whereas the Seven of Cups upright is more of a like, wow, it's more positive. It's like, wow, I've got loads of choice. This is great. Whereas I don't think you're comfortable with having all this choice, because it's a bit unsettling, isn't it? Or if the reverse reads true to you, is that you have no choice, it's because you don't know what you want. This energy is really scattered and confused, and yeah, I think the one thing I wanted to tell you is you can find someone who embodies all of these. You don't have to settle with the first person. Like, if it's really important for you to have somebody who, or maybe you're less bothered about what they do, their job, but if it's really important that somebody's really centered and grounded with their emotions, they're really romantic, they're really passionate and sexual, but they're also like traveling, a bit of a nomad, quite cool and entrepreneurial, you can find someone like that. Like, okay, yes, you might have to compromise somewhere, but you don't have to compromise on all those things. It's not like you have to pick one over the other. Like, if you make this decision and you put that out into the universe and say, I want XYZ person, maybe you have to write down a list of what you want them to be like. You can get that. If you get in touch with your sort of manifestation, your emotional side, and get really true to yourself about what you want, you can manifest that, and karma and the universe will give you it. There isn't a scarcity of people. There's billions of people on the planet. There's millions of people who could be this person for you. I don't think you need to worry about there not being enough. This person not existing. You don't have to pick one or the other. You can meet somebody who is all of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get you some oracle cards as well and get a little bit more clarity, but also advice on what you need to do. Okay, so from the Sacred Destiny Oracle, I have pulled Standstill, which is exactly what I was saying. You feel a bit paralysed by choice and you don't really know what you want. And you've got Delight, though, which is awesome. You've got Action, obviously, and you've got Power. So I'll address Standstill first. This just reiterates what I was saying about you don't know what you want. You don't know who you want. I get the sense that there's some real idealism here as well, that these are characters that you're not sure about. So maybe you're reading a lot of like books that have lots of different characters of love interest in them, or you're watching movies, so you want the really sexual person, but then you want the romantic person, and in movies they're not often the same person, but then you also want the travelly, sexy older person who's kind of a bit of a nomad, and then you want the entrepreneur. Like you're paralyzed by choice, and you're paralyzed by the thought that you can't have everything, and you can. You really can. Like, you don't have to choose. But also you're at a standstill with the universe, so you might not have seen much progress with manifesting in the law of attraction or karma. You're kind of blocking this with indecision. But then you have Delight, and this is such a strong sign that you need to have fun. You need to have fun to kind of overcome this Four of Pentacles of there's not enough. I can't have what I want. There's not enough. You really need to start delighting at just dating people and exploring the universe, particularly if you're being idealistic about love and you're kind of being idealistic about who you want. I think you need to actually get out there and see what real people are like. Like, I think there's also a sort of, and this comes with action as well, is you need to, not necessarily you need to choose, but you need to put yourself out there. You need to do something different than what you're doing. And power coming up is in love readings is so interesting, because I think you're scared of giving away the power. I think that's what all this is that actually you're quite enjoying maybe playing the field or having lots of options, and not giving yourself away to any of these people gives you a lot of power, but actually you're not happy with it. You're a bit miserable. And something has to change, something has to shift. And I think that shifting is starting to see the joy in just dating and it not being a power thing. Like, if you're one of these people that or people are doing it to you where you don't reply for X amount of time because you don't want to seem keen, just drop that shit right now. that is just a load of rubbish. Just be yourself, just text back. And I find that such a good filter for people, because if somebody's playing games and thinks you're overly keen because you're replying and you actually want to get to know them and have a conversation, scrap them, because that person is not in the right mindset to actually meet someone properly. Like, it's those people who just message as well and never will meet up. Scrap them. Like, you want to, obviously, do it safely with what's going on in the world at the moment. But I think there's power struggles here, and maybe you enjoy the power of having lots of options on dating apps. Like, I have this really weird sense of, like, I want to swipe these cards, like on like the dating apps like Tinder, and I'm not sure what else there is now because I haven't used any of them for a very long time. But I get a real sense of wanting to swipe past all these people, and there's something quite safe and powerful in that. And that's normal. This isn't a criticism of you. Like, it is quite powerful to see how many options you've got. But that's also awful, because you feel like everybody else has options. Nobody's ever going to settle. And this is kind of just saying you need to take action on this. And there's definite blocks to the law of attraction and karma and a sense of scarcity here. Yes, what a reading. I don't think I ever had cards like this before. All of these court cards come up, not being specific people, but being kind of like images of people. This is an amazing reading. Thank you so much for watching and connecting with it. I'm really enjoying this. But I'm going to pull some crystal oracle cards for you now, and they have much more tangible advice. So let's see what they say. I have no idea what will come out now. Wow, owl group. This is this is blowing my mind slightly. Right, so you have blue lace Agate, which is find your calm, and they wanted me to put that on standstill. So yeah, there's a definite sort of frenetic, scattered energy here. You are not the King of Cups. You are not calm. You are thinking about love way too much. From all of these cards combined, I think you need to lighten up a bit. I'm surprised that hasn't come up actually. That's Angel Aura Quartz, lighten up. But you just need to find a bit of inner peace and calm. Maybe you're dating too much. Like, put the apps down. Have some time with you. But you've also got to find a way to forgive. So I wonder if you've been ghosted by lots of these people. Maybe all these people are all these kings and knights and the emperor, or people who've hurt you or ghosted you, or maybe just not been interested in you. And it's really horrible, isn't it, when someone doesn't do anything wrong, they're just not interested, but you're interested in them. It's a really difficult thing to go through. So you need to find a way to forgive, my lovelies. You need to forgive yourself, but you also need to forgive all of the people that have hurt you in the past. And I get this feeling that you might be playing the field and looking at all these different options and dating too much, or not dating at all, because you can't forgive either someone who hurt you in your past or yourself even. There's this fear and scarcity. Like, normally my energy is quite sort of bouncy. It's kind of grounded. I purposely try and ground myself when I do readings, but it's grounded and it's kind of bouncy and floaty if I'm just being me. Whereas I feel really squished right now. I feel squished by the weight of something. And yeah, it should be this reading should, without sort of interpreting the energy I'm feeling, this reading should be, wow, look at all these options. You've got all these people who fancy you, great, but it's not. It's I wonder if you're thinking that they're just not them. There's that message as well, that they're just not the person that hurt you, and you have to move on from it. And I think the way to do this is finding calm and maybe taking a step back from love for a little bit. And I get that as well from the Moonstone, which is live your purpose. And this really doesn't come out very much, which is a bit odd given how many times I think it should. But with live your purpose, I think you need to find calm and do other things. I think you're so fixated on love right now that nothing's happening because you're just obsessing about it. And feed your creativity refers exactly to what I was saying about stop with the power games, but also start practicing manifestation exercises about imagining manifesting your perfect person. So definitely there are so many really good manifestation techniques on YouTube, so check them out, because actually scripting and kind of writing down and doing meditation of imagining this person, your ideal perfect person. For me, I can never imagine what people look like, so that never comes into it for me, but it might for you. You might want to imagine what looks they have, which can sort of guide you, but focus on their character, like who you want them to be, which of these are most important. And because that Knight of Pentacles is in reverse, I wonder if you're actually not bothered about what job they do. You're not bothered about money. I think you're quite successful and you have enough. You're not actually that bothered about what they do or their financial situation, which is really nice. But yeah, get a bit creative of how you're going to manifest them, and also get creative and start thinking outside of the constraints of what you've been told about love. Like you can't, like, it's not like you have to choose between the Knight of Cups, the Knight of Wands. You can have a combination of both. You can have a very sexual, romantic relationship. They exist. If you put it out there to the universe, they can give it back, but you're blocking it right now. And live your purpose. So this feeling of scarcity around love, like you need to do other things. You need to take action around things that aren't love, because you're so confused right now. While you're going through this, while you're trying to seek some calm in love, let things settle. Yeah, you need to live your purpose sort of in other areas outside of love, for sure. And try and find a way to forgive, but you've got forgiveness next to delight. So I feel like that is the key to unlocking this delight in you. It's really nice that, like, maybe your way to forgive is to find joy through your purpose, finding your purpose through calmness that's unrelated to love. I think time is a really great healer, my loves. So I'm sending you big hugs and thank you for such an interesting reading. I haven't had something quite like this come through. So if you've enjoyed this, please subscribe. I do actually do quite a lot of different types of love reading, but I also have other readings as well. I release them every week, so please subscribe if you want to have these readings in your feed when they come up. Thanks so much, my loves. I hope you have a really fantastic day. Goodbye. Hello, pile 2. You picked the flower agate turtle, and he's the newest in my collection. And I'm connecting a lot with turtle animals right now. I don't know if you are, which is why you've picked this, but we are kindred spirits because I've got a lot of turtle stuff going on and turtle messages coming in. I'm going to pull some tarot cards for you. When I'm doing love readings, I always work with the Light Seers tarot deck, at least initially. So I'm going to pull cards and see what they say about your singles love life. Wow. You have got a lot of major arcana come up. So you've got the Lovers and the Moon, you've got the Five of Wands, you've got the Chariot, and you've got the Fool in reverse. So love is a really big thing for you right now. I get this feeling that the universe is really focusing on you and your love life. It might be why you're here watching this reading. It also might be why you picked the turtle, because turtles are kind of old magic. They're sort of about old wisdom and the universe giving you messages. So you have the Lovers, which kind of just confirms that you want this sort of desperate soul connection, but you've got the Moon next to it. So I wonder if you're feeling a bit sad about love. You're kind of maybe feeling a bit depressed, and you're just desperate for this ultimate connection. I wonder if you're looking at a lot of soulmate twin flame stuff at the moment, and you're kind of I see this woman sinking, and sometimes it's more, I interpreted more positive than this, but I feel like you're sinking into this lack, this sadness. You're, especially at night time, you might have a bit of insomnia and just feeling really lonely. Like, I wonder if being single, remember when I was single, the loneliest times I had, and when I sort of thought the most about love was at night time. So I wonder if kind of sleeping alone and at night time you're just alone with all your thoughts. Oh, bless you. Yeah, there's desperation here, but it's much more internal. Like, it's not like you're actively seeking people out. You're just feeling really low about love. Maybe that you thought somebody was your soulmate and they broke up with you. We haven't got the Three of Swords here, so it doesn't indicate that that's happened imminently, but you're just feeling a bit rubbish about love. I'm sending you such massive hugs. But now you have the Five of Wands, but in reverse. So I feel like you've stopped fighting for love as well. So this Five of Wands in particular, upright, is kind of like all these figures are kind of climbing up this ladder of wands to get to the fire at the top. They're all desperately climbing. But this is reversed, which tells me that you've just given up completely. And with the moon and this depressive energy that I'm feeling, you've really given up. But then you have the Chariot, which is so weird. So I don't know what's going on here, because you're almost, there's a sense of you're depressed and you've given up trying, but you're also rushing towards, you're desperately rushing towards trying to find love and start a new journey. So the full reversed is that it's like the start of a new journey, upright, and reversed it tells you that actually that's not happening, the journey hasn't started yet, but you're almost trying to force it. So this sort of depressed desperation that you're not really doing anything about tangibly, you've kind of given up, but you're also pushing it. And I don't know why. I don't know what this message is. So I'm going to pull... It's a really weird energy. I wonder if you're flitting between depression and doing, like, distracting yourself in other ways, but you're just so desperately seeking this sort of the full new journey with a new lover that it's blocking you completely, and you're swinging from... Maybe your daytimes are incredibly busy, and then at nighttime you have time to think, and you're just like, oh, I'm giving up on love, I'm going to be single forever, is kind of the vibe you're giving off. You might be telling people that, but you're not. But emotionally, you're desperate for it. Oh, right. I need to pull some more cards because this is confusing. The previous one was really confusing as well. Maybe that's just what happens when you have singles love readings. But let's see. What did I say about the Three of Swords? Okay, so I'll start from the left. So let me pop these down. You have the King of Wands in reverse. So the King of Wands is probably like the sexiest of the kings, and it's about fire and passion. But it's also really grounded and mature. So I think you're the kind of the connection you want and you're desperate for, which obviously you're not having because he's blocked, he's upside down. Is about this ultimate combination of passion and fire, as well as deep, mature love. You seem quite clear on what you want, which is really nice in comparison to the previous reading. There is this real sense of, right, you do know what you want, you know what love should be. Maybe this is what it was like previously for you, but you've had enough experience, or you're just a wise soul and you just know what you're looking for. And this is this combination of absolute magical passion and sexuality as well as romance. And it's a very divine connection that you're seeking. But it's kind of, obviously it's blocked because you haven't got it at the moment. And so you've got the Wheel of Fortune. So you've got another major arcana, which is, this is such a big reading. And I'm really sorry, but I think that what they're saying is this sort of period of depression is meant to happen. I know. The Wheel of Fortune is kind of, the reason this is happening is because it's the wheel keeps spinning, and you're just at the moon phase in your wheel. You have to go through this period of darkness, of depression, of thinking about love, of kind of wallowing, of feeling quite alone. But it's important you go through it. For some reason, the Wheel of Fortune is the universe and karma and fate intervening, and it's telling you that this is divine. This is a rite of passage and something you do have to go through. However, I think the message from the reverse Five of Wands and the King of Swords is that you're not thinking clearly right now. So your giving up is not divine intervention. Your reaction to the kind of the loneliness, the insomnia, the dark times by giving up completely is not rational, it's not intellectual, you're blocking your King of Swords. So you're acting completely from your emotions, and you need to be using your head a bit more. So the King of Swords upright is a very rational, mature, kind of intelligent figure. This is all about intellect and using your mind. and also kind of speed, like not as quick as the Page and the Knight of Swords, but the King of Wands is like acting on intellect, decisive, knows what he's doing, adventurer, explorer, especially in this deck. But you're not doing any of that, and you should be. You should be thinking, you should be working with your head right now while you're going through these difficult times, and you shouldn't be giving up. There's a real sense of you need to keep climbing that ladder of wands, and this is what this reading is telling you, that yes, although this kind of dark, lonely period you're going through might be divine, your reaction to it, no, stop that immediately. You definitely need to reverse those cards. You need to become the King of Swords for sure. So look at the person on that card. They're sat at the top of a mountain. They look a bit like a traveller. They're with an owl, which is the previous reading, so they're quite wise and intellectual, and they take action. They take rational, intellectual action. And I think that this is what this is telling you, is you need to embody that King of Swords and not give up. And then under the Chariot, you've got the Page of Pentacles. So the speed, the reason I got confused about the speed is because it is unrelated to love, I think. I think the Page of Pentacles is usually about gifts and opportunities in the material world, so like finance and career. So I wonder if you're actually having a good period in your career right now, or you're about to have this gift of from the material world, but actually that's quite good for you, but it's making your daytimes very, very busy, and that's divine as well. This gift is really important to you, and you need to connect more with your rational side rather than this sort of emotional, idealistic cutting your nose off to spite your face. And then you've got the reversed Three of Swords on the Fool. Yeah, so your new journey is being blocked from heartbreak. Now, because the Three of Swords is in reverse, this is like old heartbreak. This isn't something that is going to happen, or it is something that has happened, and maybe has happened sometime in the past, that's blocking this new journey of love. But what they're saying is that by embodying the King of Swords and kind of keep fighting, embracing your work life, like keep trying, be rational, and by connecting with your rational intellectual side, this is going to heal your heart enough to take the next step with someone new, which is quite nice. Okay, so I'm going to pull some oracle cards for you, and hopefully they will clarify things a bit better. Okay, so you have release. Yeah, so you kind of need to submit to this depressed feeling about love, and maybe release these ideals, this sort of a toxic love idea you have. They're saying that you need to release that, and kind of embrace the moment. And if you release that, you'll be gifted with abundance. So what's blocking you is this depression in the Wheel of Fortune that's supposed to happen is supposed to help you release these sort of slightly negative ideals about what love should be, that all they're doing is holding you back. And once you release them, you shift from this sort of idealistic, desperate moon card, and you're going to shift into a state of real abundance. And abundance comes through as like, you're going to have lots of opportunities for love. You're going to have lots of love once you release this idea of this King of Wands, perfect person that you're so desperate for. And then you have focus and taking risks on the other side. So I pulled taking risks first. So you're really, really scared of taking any more risks in your love life, which relates to the moon. You're kind of sinking, and it relates to giving up with the Five of Wands. And this is because you've been heartbroken in the past. I'm really sorry, like it's really tough, but they're saying that you actually need to focus on taking risks. And those two seem on the surface quite incompatible. Like taking risks often seem like quite, what's the word? Impulsive and fast and let's take loads of risks. But this is like, you need to take calculated risks. So you need to put yourself out there with love. You need to stop giving up, but you need to do it as the King of Swords. These need to be rational risks. They need to be sensible risks. So you don't want to pick someone you know is going to be very bad for you, right? You don't want to pick a date with somebody who has really sort of ghosty vibes or isn't treating you very well. You want to kind of test the waters slightly in a sensible, focused way. So don't sort of start taking risks willy-nilly, but start taking sort of focused risks that your heart can handle, that will help you heal what you've been through in the past. I'll pull some crystal cards for you, but this is quite clear now. Good job on your career, by the way. Like, whatever's going on in your career, that's almost feels separate, that Chariot and the Page of Pentacles. But yeah, awesome job. You're doing really well. You're just kind of, you've just got some kind of work to do when it comes to your love life, and you need to be a bit more rational and intellectual about this. Stop thinking with your heart and think with your head. Okay, so you have hematite, ground yourself. Yes, exactly. On release, you need to really get out of your own head, and this is compounded by get out of your own way. This idealism is really not grounded that you have about love, and you're kind of like oh, I've lost all my words today. You're sort of drowning in it. You're surrounded by it. It's like I'm imagining like a whirlpool. And you're just being swept around in circles by this idealistic sort of vision of love. But actually, you need to sort of step out of the whirlpool. You need to get out of your own way, because you're blocking your own love. And this is by your sort of inaction. And then you've got lapis lazuli, which is make a decision. Exactly. You have to make a decision now on action. And feed your creativity, carnelian, has come out again. That was in the previous reading in the same place. But I think you need to be quite creative over the risks you're going to take. So I have no idea what those are. Hopefully this will resonate, but you need to make a decision that's kind of a creative, calculated risk about love. So maybe there's somebody, maybe it could be reconnecting with like an old flame, just platonically, just to chat, just to sort of get yourself out there. And I think you just need to practice dating. So you need to pick someone, make a decision, but be creative about who they are. So don't write people off just because they're like too short for you, or they are like, they have the wrong colour hair. Do you know what I mean? Like, you need to be a bit creative, because in love, our soulmate may not look the way that we want them to. And you need to get out of your own way. So you need to stop ruminating and being idealistic about this person not being the perfect vision of love, and be more grounded. So the grounded message is you just need to get out there and take more action towards love, but sensible, focused risks that are sort of that pull you out of your current thinking, which is where the creativity comes from. Again, the Chariot and the Page of Pentacles are very separate, so maybe you need to check out another one of my career readings. But yes, I think that's everything for you. Yes, it is everything. Thank you so much, Flower Agate Tercel Group. It's been really lovely having you here. This reading and the previous one have been really out there, so it's really fun when this happens. I hope you've enjoyed. I do actually do quite a lot of love readings, so please subscribe if you want to see these in your feed. And let me know if this has resonated. I love to hear from you as well. I hope you have an absolutely wonderful day. Goodbye. Hello, pile 3. If you picked this pile, you picked the Jade Elephant. I have had some very interesting readings so far, so I'm a bit daunted and excited to see what yours will be. I'm going to pull some tarot cards from the Light Seers Tarot. If you know me and you know my channel, I always work with the Light Seers Tarot deck when I am doing love readings. So I'll pull you some cards now and see what they say. Okay, you have the Knight of Wands, the Page of Cups, the Page of Swords, again with the Court cards. This happened in the first reading. Then you have the Death card, and then the Eight of Cups in reverse. So, there's something here about you being very, very daydreamy. You're very daydreamy, you're in your head, and you're slightly disconnected from reality at the moment when it comes to love. So, the Page of Cups and the Page of Swords are like the emotion. The Page of Cups is the emotional daydreamer, and the Page of Swords is the kind of rational, intellectual daydreamer. And you've got both. So I think you're daydreaming a lot about love, and you might be doing a lot of like trying to manifest, but also like daydreaming about the practicalities of love. It's a bit strange, this message. It's like you're thinking about how you would live with someone else. Like maybe you live in a shared house at the moment, or you live with your parents or something, and you're like, how could I possibly have love when I can't bring them home and they couldn't live together? How would we live together? Where would we live? What job would they do? You're kind of you're rationally thinking about love in your head, but none of it's real. The Knight of Wands as well, though, is a really good sign of like maybe you're partying quite a lot, you're kind of enjoying life, but actually love is the thing that's missing. And then you've got the Death and Rebirth card followed by the Eight of Cups. So I think you need to walk away from some sort of situation. There's some situation going on with your love life that you need to walk away from, to go through an epic transformation, and you don't want to. And I think there's a block here about this daydreaming. I think this daydreaming is you're thinking what if, but what if this happened, what if this happened, whilst living your life like the Knight of Wands. So you're partying, you seem like the life and soul. Everybody probably thinks you're really happy and you're fine, but you're not. So you're very much in your head and you're daydreaming. And that's really blocking you from walking away from something that isn't serving you anymore. And I really get the sense that it could be your living situation. Maybe there's some that you're just not in the right place. You're not living in the right place for you. You need to get out of your head. You need to remove. You need to there's something you have to remove. And I don't know what it is, because this is a general reading. But I wonder if this sort of you're faking being happy is not serving anyone. So that maybe I think you're partying too much. You're kind of putting on this front of joy and happy and everything being fine, and you're passionate and you're the fun one. And that's really not serving you, because it's not reflective of your truth right now. Your truth right now is that you're thinking about love, you want love, but you're not acting in a way that is going to attract it into your life. Maybe you're just very busy, maybe you're out at weekends, maybe you have lots of single friends, and that's blocking you. And they say the best way to meet someone is to change your friendship groups to people in relationships. So often, because people in relationships will try and set up their single friends, which is true. And I think something has to change in your situation. I'm going to pull some more quite quickly on this, because it is confusing, so I want to see what else they have to say. What a strange reading. The King of Swords has come up again. He came up in the previous reading, and he's come up in all readings, so there might be someone who's watching this, all three of them. But I think that this could be like a kind of universal energy going on here, that we need to think rationally, quite maturely, and in a wise way about things. What was I saying about friendships and needing different friends? So you've got the Three of Cups come up, you've got the Ace of Swords in reverse, you've got the Two of Cups in reverse, and the Nine of Cups in reverse. Yeah, so I think your friendship group is blocking you right now. You're being the life and soul, you're partying, and you shouldn't be. So the Knight of Swords is quite a rational, intellectual thinker, and that is not you right now. You are actively shunning that. You're probably being a bit impulsive, and maybe you're ruminating on things you've done emotionally, and kind of in your head you're thinking about these because you maybe feel a bit of regret. There's something going on about, you shouldn't be acting like the Knight of Wands. You should be acting like the King of Swords. You should be more rational and a bit more thoughtful and a bit more kind of intellectual about it, but taking action. And the Ace of Swords is a new idea, and there is a new idea that you are rejecting. You're very, and even trying to connect with you now, the energy is like, no, I don't want to hear this. I don't want to connect. There's a kind of, you're definitely blocking a new idea by not being thoughtful and rational, but you're also far too in your head emotionally, and that's stopping new ideas coming to you. And maybe this is new ideas about love. Maybe you need a bit of a reset on what love is. This sort of daydreaming is not real, as much as it's comfortable and you can be the fun person because you've got the safety of your fantasy world. The fantasy world is not real, but there's something, maybe this is the Ace of Swords, but you're scared to break free of it. But you have the Three of Cups, and I do think you do have some sort of toxic friendship group going on here, or you're lacking it. You need to shift the community, and you need to shift the friends you have and the friends you're hanging out with, if you really do want to sort of find love and go through a transformation. And so below the Death and Rebirth card, you have the Two of Cups in reverse. And I think you really, really do want this sort of divine connection. And this is what the Death and Rebirth card is gonna bring, but you're so resistant to it. And this Ace of Swords, this rational thinking, this new idea, you're blocking it. And that's what will lead to your death and rebirth, and will lead to your new love. But your blockage is your daydreaming, but also your friends. And I hate to say this, but there feels like there's some sort of manipulation going on. Not that the cards are saying that, but I have this energy that you've got some sort of toxic influence on you. It could be social media. It might not be your actual friends, but they're causing you to daydream, and you're not listening to yourself. So the Ace of Swords, you're not listening to your inner voice. You're not listening to your new ideas. You're all up in your head daydreaming about it because of what they're saying. And I feel like you need to reevaluate and be the King of Swords within your own friendship group and your lifestyle and the way you're living it. Because if you do that and you open up to these new ideas, and maybe you start pulling your energy out of your head, out of your fantasy world, which is safe, you are going to go through a real transformation. But it is the Death card, so these transformations and this moving on, it can be uncomfortable. And I think this might be for you. It might be cutting people out. It might be moving. I've said this. It might just be changing houses and housemates and locations, and there's just something here which is uncomfortable for you, which is why you've retreated into this fantasy world in the first place, and you do not want to be confronted with the truth. And the Ace of Swords is the truth, and the King of Swords acts on the truth. So this is a message that you really need to act on this truth about love. Or maybe it's your sexuality. I've got that coming through. But maybe it's also, that will only resonate with a few people. But like, maybe it's your... you know that you're going to the wrong nightclubs. Like, if you know that you shouldn't be going to nightclubs at all. Maybe you should be meeting people in bars. You know what I mean? It's like that. It's like you're just being swept along with these friendship group. You're being the Knight of Wands, but in your head you're daydreaming about somebody who you'll meet through something else. It could be that like you're more likely to meet someone through education or work, but you're blocking that because you're so knackered and living in this fantasy world. You're not open to meeting anybody in a different way. So I think you need a bit of a reset, and I think you need new friends. You need to just expand your social circle a bit more and to do this you will have a new idea of maybe a new hobby or new job, or you're going to move location. There's something about that there, and this will open you up to this death and rebirth transformation where you're going to meet your divine soulmate. I love that Two of Cups card, by the way. It's so beautiful. And yeah, as I said before, there are rainbows on that card. So if you are debating your sexuality, there's sort of an LGBTQ plus message in there as well, but that is only for a few people. And then you're going to walk away, I think, from these friendship groups. You're going to walk away from something through this death and rebirth. But the walking away is such a positive walking away. They're both in reverse right now because you're blocking it. You don't want to do it. But the Nine of Cups is like the ultimate wish fulfillment card. It's like, absolutely, emotionally, you're going to get everything you want, and this couldn't be clearer that you are going to get the love of your dreams once you reconnect with new communities, you act on an idea, and you stop being in your own head about all this. And it is difficult because you are going to have to walk away from something. I'm not entirely sure what that is. It might be friends, it might be a work situation, it might be a place. That's going to be a bit challenging, but the reward, oh my god, the reward is going to be like awesome, beautiful, perfect love relationship for you. I'm going to pull some oracle cards and see what they say. Isn't this interesting? So release, action and power have all come out in previous readings, so I really do think if you pick this pile you need to watch all the others. That not that everything will resonate, but there's definitely something in there for you, but they have a very different meaning. So power in this sense is that you are not in your power. You're not in yourself at the moment because you're daydreaming. But what this is saying is you really have a lot of power, man. Like, I'm surprised I haven't seen The Magician, because this feels like law of attraction stuff, but also you have so much power. And I wonder if that's why you're in your head. I wonder if you are a very attractive person and you can kind of get whoever you want. And that in itself is quite scary, isn't it? Like, knowing that you have so much power is you don't know what to do with it. So you're kind of like protecting yourself, but protecting everybody else, because you want people to like you. You don't want to be powerful when it comes to love. You don't want to be the person who gets all the guys, all the girls, all the people. You don't want to be that person because you're worried about what your friends will think. And there's a real influence of worrying about what friends will think here. But you're about to go through a transformation, and it's a sort of rational, intellectual, like, light bulb moment that was going to trigger this transformation. And the release card relates to this walking away. I feel like you're just going to go, oh, because the transformation's going to have happened. It might be a little bit difficult, but the walking away is going to feel good. It's going to feel like a release. So if you're worried about, oh, what have I got to walk away from, it will be really obvious because you'll really want to. It's not a walking away that's like, it might be hard for other reasons, but at your core, like, you're going to go, oh, thank God I can be me now. You're walking away, you're releasing something, and it's going to feel really lovely for you. But there is this action card, which I'm afraid to say means you have to take action. There is something you have to do to transform. And you've got transformation and the death, but there is this, you have to ask yourself some quite serious questions about why you're fantasizing, why you've let these people and these communities have such an influence on your lives. And do you notice I said lives there? I feel like there might be you and a friend. You're not the only person who thinks this about this friendship group. So maybe you can find solidarity with someone. Hey, maybe that's how you meet someone in the future, is that you actually both dislike or have a struggle with the same group or community or people. It might be that. But it's gonna... You do need to do something, and you need to take action on this idea from this Ace of Swords. So if you have a sort of a light bulb moment in your head coming up, you really need to take action on it. I'm going to pull some crystal cards and see what they say as well. But this has been, like the others, this has been a very interesting set of readings. So I think I'll do more of the singles love because they're really fun. Okay, so you have Chrysoprase, which is allow yourself to receive. Yeah, so I think you're blocking your power and your law of attraction, but also you're blocking spiritual messages. I think you need to start opening up more to your spiritual side. I mean, you are doing it because you're watching tarot readings, but I think you're binge watching tarot readings to get the answers you want rather than listening to the answers that are given to you. You need to open up and realize the power you have, because I think you're quite a spiritual person as well. And then you've got Let It Go, Smoky Quartz. Now this doesn't come out very often, and this is quite a strong message that there's something about your transformation you have to let go. Related to the Eight of Cups, you have to walk away from something, and it's to do with this sort of daydreamy, idealistic side. And your Knight of Wands, you're partying. I think there's something that you've got to let go in your life. You also have Angel Aura Quartz Lighten Up, which is really funny because I said I'm surprised I didn't see that in the previous reading, which is even more of a sign to check it out. And also the owl, you've got the owl on the reversed King of Swords, and the owl in reading one was made of Smoky Quartz. So I think this is a sign you need to watch that too. I think you need to watch all of them actually, because there will be some little snippets for you. Angel Aura Quartz Lighten Up. Yeah, this walking away and this releasing is going to make you really happy and joyous. And there's rainbows again. Like, I think there's it's making me think of like leprechauns and the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Like, you've been on quite a difficult journey. You're really nearly there, but you just have to let some stuff go and open up. But you've also got Lapis Lazuli, make a decision, and this came through. I can't remember which one it was, but this is a quick side note. I tend to forget quite quickly what the previous readings said because I'm channeling, so it just disappears, because it's not for me. I remember messages for me, but I don't remember things for other people. But yeah, look at the previous readings because that came out. But you need to make a decision when it comes to what you're letting go. And it feels, again, this is a rational transformation. This is a rational letting go. This is very thoughtful. You're going to think about it. And I think you need to make a decision on these groups of people in these communities. Maybe you need to reach out to a new community first before you let something go. Maybe you need to try out some new hobbies or just meet some new people before you let go of the kind of fantasy side of you, because it serves a purpose. It's protecting you. But once you're able to sort of, like, I feel like spread your wings and fly. I Believe I Can Fly has come in my head, that song. I don't normally hear songs, but that's coming. I think you need to, it's quite careful, thoughtful decision making. This isn't something that's like, this isn't like something that's going to come through emotionally and you're just going to impulsively do it. This is kind of much more thoughtful. And Allow Yourself to Receive and Power is all about the universe and the law of attraction. And Power is a book by Rhonda Byrne about gratitude. So I think maybe you need to read that book. It's just called The Power. But it's all about receiving and manifestation and law of attraction. And I think this is awakening your spiritual side. But you're awakening it through being really rational, which is interesting. So maybe you do need to read books. Maybe you do need to learn about the law of attraction. But yes, at the end of this, it's going to be really lovely, and that lighten up is just so freaking joyous. You're going to reach the end of the rainbow and find your pot of gold. Thank you so much for joining me here today. I'm also getting something through. This is popping through about elephant wisdom and elephant wisdom. I don't really know what elephant wisdom is, but this is a message for you that, like, there's something in elephant imagery that you need. So that might help give you some guidance as well. Thank you so much, my lovelies, for being here. I really appreciate it. This has been such a fascinating set of readings. I've really loved doing them, and I'll definitely be doing more love readings, but I'll do another singles love reading because this has been great in the future. So please subscribe and you'll be notified, and that will pop up in your feed when I've done that for you. I hope you have a really wonderful day, and please comment and get in touch if this has resonated. Okay, thank you. Bye.